So recently, after 7 months of waiting, we finally got a trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2. And all I can say is that I am incredibly excited, because this is going to be such a major improvement from the 8-year-old Switch. But here I want to discuss all of my thoughts for the Switch 2, and all the potential results of it. Alright, let's get into it. So the biggest complaint that I've been hearing is that this console is too similar to the regular Switch. And something I have realized is that it just happens all the time. And the claim doesn't even really matter anymore. Think about it. The DS to 3DS only had an analog stick in 3D, which they even ditched not even halfway through the console's lifespan. The Game Boy Color only added color and literally nothing else. And this is the same case for the Switch 2. And now we have the C button and the magnetic Joycons. So it doesn't really matter in my opinion, as those consoles were still extremely good. Something I have also noticed, however, is that this is another Wii U situation. Most people I talked to about the trailer actually somehow thought that this was a console revision and not a new console, which was the exact situation that caused the Wii U to fail. The name also doesn't help, but I really wouldn't have named it anything else. Anything that doesn't have Switch in the name would make people think it's supposed to be an entirely different console, which is definitely not the case. So I'm glad they stuck with the simple name and not something like Super Nintendo Switch, New Nintendo Switch, or Switch U. But the only thing I am majorly excited for is the games. Speaking of games, in the trailer we actually got a glimpse into one of the most hype ones, which is Mario Kart 9. This game is receiving a lot of controversy right now, but I have faith that it will manage to be better than 8 Deluxe. First, there are now 24 racers, which is actually insane. That sounds bad on paper, but that means way more chaotic gameplay and bigger tracks. From the tracks shown, Mario Bros. Circuit seems to be way bigger and more barren, but I theorized two things. I think they just waited to show the most new exciting track for that direct soon, so they just showed a glimpse into a more basic track. I also get the feeling that 24 racers won't be forced, and it will just be an option so that people don't have to race with 24 players. There also seems to be a lot of discussion about the art style of the game, and I personally actually really like the chibi art style it has. It seems to be replicating that of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and what I like is that it gives like a lot of personality and expression. Just from the tiny amount of footage in this trailer, Mario seemed incredibly expressive. I will admit that the slightly more realistic style of 8 was better in my opinion, but I am still absolutely loving this. People are also concerned about Donkey Kong's design being changed, but I just think that everyone's kind of being a baby about this. The movie design is fine, and that there's no way that this will be taking over the regular design. The thing I also found really funny is that people don't even use DK, so why do you care? But anyway, I am super duper excited in this game, and I really hope that we get more information about it during that new Nintendo Direct coming in April. Something I've also seen a lot of controversy about is the connectors on the Joy-Cons. On the side, there are these like prong things where the Joy-Cons will properly attach. People think that these are gonna easily snap off, but here's the thing. In that trailer, Nintendo was messing a lot around with the camera. This might have caused the prongs to look much longer than they might actually be, and they already look somewhat short, which will reduce the chances of them snapping. They're also made out of like a harder substance from what it seems. From the texture and what we've seen so far, it looks like it's gonna be really durable and solid. There is also the chance that it snaps when you wiggle the Joy-Cons. However, there are holes where the prongs will fit, and it seems really small and narrow, so I don't even think there will be space for it to wiggle. Nintendo sure took their sweet time making this console, so I don't think there's going to be too many issues related to the controllers. People are worried that if those prongs snap off, then they'll have to buy a completely different console, but if this becomes an issue, it will be like mass, so Nintendo will have to offer free repairs at that point. Let's also talk about some of the controllers, and the new Joy-Cons are absolutely amazing, and they're a massive improvement compared to the older ones. For starters, they're obviously magnetic now, and I also really like how they extended the sides of them, which was a necessary change. The SR and SL buttons were so uncomfortable, and now they seem to be bigger and more clickable. There's also some kind of like optical sensor, which people are speculating it can be used as a mouse, which is actually sort of hinted at in the trailer. There's also a new C button, which I have no clue what will be used for. My hypothesis is that this will be related to the optical sensor in some way, since I already think we have enough normal buttons to use for games to utilize. I also find it pretty cool that they inverted the colors, which I think looks pretty nice. However, when you attach them to the Switch, it does look a little bland, but there are going to be other colors of the Joy-Cons, which is a plus. They're also much bigger, so it's nicer to hold in your hand compared to the previous Joy-Cons, which were incredibly tiny. So after long play sessions, they would cramp up extremely easily. That's why the Pro Controller was usually the way to go with the regular Switch. I also really like how this console is backwards compatible. I get it was kind of obvious, but since games are going to take longer times to develop now, we can still play all of our Switch games while we wait for new games to release, or get trailers. I also have the feeling that they will be heavily enhanced by the Switch 2's new graphics. The power of a PS4 Pro is built into the system, so sort of like how Wii games look better on the Wii U, just like those consoles, I feel like they're going to look much better. Just imagine how Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey might look on these. That's going to be absolutely incredible. I feel like the Switch 1 games will also still be released for a good while, which I think is a good thing. If you notice for the Wii and Wii U, even well into the Wii U's lifespan, Wii games were still coming out, since they were backwards compatible on the Wii U. Anyway, those are my thoughts on why the Switch 2 will end up being absolutely amazing. If you guys enjoyed this short video, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and to support my channel. Alright, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video coming soon. Bye!